Now it's time for you to select the magic content of your show. First, you need magic that you can make entertaining to children. And that's not just anything marketed as children's magic. And heaven knows there's a whole lot of just anything out there, and more comes down the pike every day. Just because a prop is brightly colored or marked a great kid effect doesn't mean it will be a valuable addition to your repertoire. The average magic trick right out of the box is usually pretty ordinary until you add your own style and creativity to its presentation. Beware especially of the suggested patter. I really hate the term patter, as though your script is just something to do with your mouth to keep the act from being silent. The easiest way to choose effects that really work well for children is to begin with some of the published routines available and build on that base. And most of the time you'll find that the best routines are very easily available. So, buy books first, not props. I started with an act pretty much 100% from routines by David Ginn. And after all these years, I still believe you can't do better than to start there. His books give you a really good first act, and he really understands children. Samuel Patrick Smith is another fine children's magician who's published extensively. I started with a few routines that seemed to fit my personal style, and very quickly some variations of my own came to me. If you are building your act from scratch, choosing effects from books of tricks, your first consideration should be choosing effects that put the focus on volunteers from the audience or can be adapted to do so. Now here is where your creativity and individuality can really take wing. And here's your chance to make ordinary effects into magic people will remember all their lives. Consider what a magic trick all by itself really is. Ha ha, I tricked you. Eesh, sends chills up your spine, doesn't it? I spent years wondering why everybody wasn't as thrilled by magic as I am, until somebody finally clued me in. Nobody enjoys having a trick played on them. But, and how close it is from bad magic to good magic, wouldn't anybody feel excited if they could really be present when a miracle happened? Or if they were enjoying a story and the narrative was climaxed right before their eyes with a big surprise. That's the ticket, not a trick, a surprise. I promised that we would take an effect right out of a popular magic book and make it into a good children's effect. And after I promised that, I looked for one. And what I saw was trick after trick where the audience is sitting quietly watching wonderful you do something. And friends, most people find that sort of effect only moderately interesting. But these were classics of magic. Well, I'm going to tell you a big secret here. Classics of magic can be deadly dull, or the very same tricks can be dynamite. Let me illustrate with an old joke. This guy's a terrible singer, and he gets hired to work a club. He opens up singing, "Everything's coming up roses." The audience boos and hisses. He ignores him. He sings, "The Impossible Dream." They start throwing food at him. He's terrible. When he sings "Over the Rainbow," they all just stand up and walk out. And he shouts at them, "What the heck do you guys want from me? I didn't write this stuff." It's up to you to take effects that would be ordinary in the hands of a less talented performer and supercharge them with entertainment. That's right, to present magic that these young people will remember for the rest of their lives, you don't need super skill at technical magic. You need to know what entertains. So here's our example. I'll open up this book and I'll see what strikes my imagination. Let's see, what can we rule out as unlikely to entertain children? No cards, no coins, certainly no cigarettes. Aha! The cut and restored rope. No, I'm not exposing someone else's intellectual property. This is a generic method. It's hundreds of years old. Here's the basic effect. Here's the method. Under ordinary circumstances, you would go down, get the middle of the rope where you wanted to cut it, put it right up here, and cut it. That's a fair cut. That's not what you're going to do. Here's the move. You go down, you get the middle wherever you want to cut it, bring it up, and put it in the middle of your palm. And you grab this piece and put it up there. You've got a loop that's where you're going to cut and tie the knot right there. All right, boys and girls, now you're going to see something really amazing. One good, strong piece of American rope. I'm going to go right down here, and I'm going to take the middle of this rope, and I'm going to bring it up here and cut it. All right, there we go. 2 pieces of rope, and I'm going to tie them together. Here we go. Tie those pieces of rope together. I'm going to show you. There you go. They're really tight. But it's not as good as it was when it was new. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim that knot nice and even. Here we go, just like that. One end and the other end. And now that we've got it just about as small as we can make it, watch the magic. I'm going to wrap it around my hand, just like that. Wrap it around the hand. And now, I want everybody to wiggle your magic fingers and say the magic words, abracadabra. And lo and behold, one solid, single, uncut piece of rope. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's the way it is in this and most other books. Another adult making us sit quietly and listen to him. He's just done a trick. Look what he can do and we can't. Big deal. What can we add to make this memorable? Well, let's add a volunteer. Maybe the birthday kid's brother or sister. It helps if you involve them. What's this volunteer going to do? Examine the rope, examine the scissors, choose where you cut, hold the knotted rope to show that it's really back together. Plenty of opportunity there to put in some kid-friendly comedy. Let's add a challenge. What might that be? All right, if Johnny can blow this knot right off the rope, he, gets a prize, gets a big round of applause, whatever. Okay, you've added volunteer interest, you've added a challenge. Let's add drama. How about 3 knots? If he can blow all 3 knots off the rope, he gets whatever. How about if he can blow all 3 knots off the rope, a 6-foot-tall rabbit will appear right here. Where are you going to get 3 knots? Well, certainly not cutting the rope twice more. Just tie 2 more. These are simple slip knots. Pull hard on the rope and they're gone. The remaining knots are simply looped around your finger and tucked through and tightened with the left hand. So what you've got is a knot that will, when you pull on it. All right, he takes a breath and he blows 3 knots off. No, not at once. He blows and he gets 1. That's good. He blows and he gets 2. Better. He blows and he doesn't get the last one. Everybody's on the edge of their seats. Can he do it? Boys and girls, I promise you that if the birthday boy Ian could blow a knot off of this rope, a 6-foot-tall rabbit would appear right here in the room. And I'm going to keep my promise. It's the last trick of the show. Now, watch closely. Watch closely. One good solid piece of rope. But don't take my word for it. Ian, come on in here. Would you please pull on this rope? Make sure there are no trapdoors, elves, nothing like that in there. All right, one good solid piece of rope. Now, we want to cut this rope in the middle. Would you show me where the middle is? Right here? All right, he wants it cut right here. Gonna cut it right there. So we have two pieces of rope, and I'll tie the knot in it. Here we go. One solid, well, two solid pieces of rope tied in the middle. Here, I'll tell you what, make sure that's good and solid. Pull on it a little bit. You happy with it? I'm not happy with it. Ian, I'm sorry, one knot is not enough. You're going to have to blow 3 knots off this rope. Do you have any problem with that? All right, what do you guys think? 3 knots? All right, 3 knots. We have 1 knot. Let's tie 2 more, all right? 1 knot right here. And 1 knot right here. 1, 2, 3 knots in the piece of rope. And Ian's going to blow them right off the rope. Come right over here, Ian. All right, I'll hold this here. Now, blow those knots off the rope. It's not very good. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here. Blow those knots off the rope. All right, everybody give him some magic fingers, all right? Say the magic words, abracadabra, and blow. Oh, he got one. More magic fingers again. Abracadabra. He got 2. Ian, get the third. 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. Abracadabra. Wait a minute. Here, move over here. Here, take this. All right, blow that knot right up to the ceiling. Come here, a little closer. Blow it up to the ceiling. No, well, here, move it a little closer. He did it! Give him a big yay! All right, I promised you a 6-foot-tall rabbit would appear right here. Here we go. Ready? Everybody. Magic fingers. Abracadabra. Give that big 6-foot-tall rabbit a big yay! It's not look what I did. It's look what the volunteer did. Give Johnny a really big yay! And you have just supercharged what began as a fairly average magic trick. You added entertainment value. Actually, anything that gets you away from I'm the magician, look what I can do, is all to the good. And look how it plays on the time meter. There are plenty of other strategies to add interest. Think what children like. Actually, everyone likes stories. You watch them all evening on television. And they like knowing or seeing something an authority figure doesn't. That's you or an adult volunteer or the birthday guy at a grown-up party. And action. They love to be asked to help, individually and as a group. And they love to move, and they love to make noise and shout and sing. You're going to hear from them whether you want to or not. So make opportunities for them to do all of those things. If you need to, choose effects that come with a story-like routine. Now, put these principles into your effects. Magic tricks are fundamentally nothing more than special effects. So set them into involving situations and stories that make the magic the high point. Use all the techniques of theater to make an audience care what happens. You'll see in my act that the rabbit trick is a little drama that happens right before your eyes. It starts out as a really ordinary magic trick, and you're in the middle of a dramatic situation before you notice it. At first, I'm just an ordinary magician setting up his first effect, and suddenly I'm in trouble. The rabbit has escaped. Anybody can see that, but I try to bluff my way through. And I extend my excuses so long that I even get the birthday child in trouble. Maybe I can make it not my fault, because she tried, the magic didn't work for her either. And I'm running out of places to go with this before I have to admit defeat, when suddenly the volunteer and the whole audience make the magic work, and the rabbit appears. Let's just get on with the big trick of the show and pull a rabbit out of a hat. Would that be good? A real live bunny rabbit? Pull him out of this hat right here. Does anybody see a hat up there? Oh dear. Does anybody have a magic hat?
No!
Oh look, how about I just bring up the rabbit? Would that be okay? But you wouldn't scare it, would you? Okay, because you've got to be very nice, because look, I'll show you something. I used to keep him in this cage here, but he was always getting away. So I don't keep him in there anymore, just when people are petting him. I got this box, and it was the biggest, strongest box I could find, and there's not a rabbit in the world could get out of that. So everyone say hello to George the Rabbit! Isn't he beautiful? George the Rabbit! He's right there. Yes, he is. Now there's a big fluffy rabbit right here. No, let me think. Ah, this is a magic rabbit, and if he gets scared, you know what happens? Have you seen my show before?
No.
Yeah, he disappears. What kinds of noises do you think would scare him so badly that he would disappear? How about chicken noises? Everyone make chicken noises. No, still there. Cow noises. Try cow noises. Dinosaur noises. You're scary, dinosaurs. Is there a rabbit in there? All right, the disappearing rabbit. Thank you. Now, our next trick is the
rabbit part.
Well, he disappeared. What were you saying, young lady? Wait. I want to know, what did you say? Well, the rabbit disappeared.
Yeah, but we didn't see any rabbit before.
Oh, dear. Now, hang on. You mean you don't think there was ever really a rabbit in there?
No.
How many people don't think there was ever really a rabbit in there?
No.
And I bet you think I'm going to bring him back. See, if I was going to bring him back, I would have to have my helper here, and she's not here, and none of you want to help, right? Here. Hi, what's your name? Courtney. Short name? Courtney, okay. Well, you're going to help me get my rabbit back?
Yeah.
Well, everybody scoot back a little bit now. You're going to scare Courtney and she might disappear. All right, Courtney. If you're going to help me get my rabbit back, I will let you hold this very powerful magic wand. Here, come a little closer and take that wand and wave it in the air. Go ahead, wave it in the air. Wave. She made it wag like a doggy. Give me that, Courtney. Well, make it stop. Honestly. All right, it's okay. Look, here, we got another big kid-sized one that won't wiggle. Here, take that, and young lady, please take the magic wand. Look, kid, take the magic wand. Thank you. Where did you get all of those? Did you put those in there? Shame on you. Give me that, Courtney. Would you quit messing around? Honestly. Well, look, no. That was really funny, right? Yeah, except for one thing. Now, we can't do the trick because we are all out of magic. How about this one? Give it a try. Wave it and see what happens. Oh, we need some help from everybody. We need magic fingers. Can you do magic fingers like that? Very good. Well, you do them. That's right. And we need a magic word. Does anybody know a magic word? What was that? Have a banana. Abracadabra?
Yeah!
All right, so what was that? I'm a big ham. All right, let's get this straight. Now, wait a minute. She's going to wave the magic bone. You're going to wave your magic fingers. We all say abracadabra. We get the rabbit back. Is that right?
Yeah!
All right, let's see if he came back by himself. Are there any bunnies in there? All right, Courtney, wave the magic bone. Everybody wave your magic fingers. And we all say... This door, there's a rabbit in there? It's George the Rabbit. Give Courtney a big, big yay! Here, let me hit you. Want a butter? Here you go. There. Stay back! This is a trained killer ninja rabbit. Well, we went right for you. Watch his secret karate move. Hiya, hiya! The brave Courtney can pet him at the risk of her own life. Very brave, Courtney. Wait right there. Let me put him over here where he feels safe. All right. Courtney, stand up straight and tall. I'm going to go. Sit down. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. You guys are going to go yay. And Courtney is going to take a big bow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay, Courtney! Have a seat. And the magic story is, if not a timeless classic, at least a decent story that gains involvement with costumes and props, and of course the audience members are up there doing silly things. I like to do a magic story. And today's story is the story of the king or queen who couldn't be fooled 3 times. Would that be good? Well, there are 3 people in this story. Who would like to be in it? Stand up for me, please, won't you? Now, the first person is a king or queen who's very, very mean. Show me a mean face. Come on up here, young lady. And then there's a princess who's very beautiful and smart. Show me beautiful and smart. Oh, there she is. Come on up here. And finally, there is the bravest, smartest magician in the land. Let me see brave and smart. Ta-da-da-da-da! That's the guy right there. Come on over here. Everybody else sit down, please. What's your name? Say that again? Ranjit. Sorry about that. It takes me a little time, but I get it sooner or later, okay? I've got a mystical, magical wizard's robe for you. There you go. And you can't be a wizard without the hat. All right, now, you guys all come up here, you 3. There you go. In a line, in a line, in a line. Face the audience. They want to see your lovely face, not your back. Okay. All right. There was this queen, Queen Celine, who was so mean. Show the mean face. Oh, that's mean. And she had a daughter, Princess Taylor, who was so beautiful and smart. Show her beautiful and smart. Oh yes, and did so well in 1st and 2nd grade that everybody wanted to marry her. It could happen. So the queen said, all right, if you want to marry my daughter, you have to fool me 3 times. And everyone got into line to try to fool her. Then she said, but if you try, and you don't fool me all 3 of those times, what usually happens in a story like this, guys?
They get killed.
That's exactly right. Queen, give me one of these. Whoa, I'm going to cut your head off. So everyone got out of line except for one guy who was very brave and smart. Show me brave and smart. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah!
Ranjit the magician. Show me beautiful and smart. Show him me. Whoa. And Ranjit brought out something that looked just like this. He said, look, everybody, here's how I'm going to fool that queen. I have 2 sticks. One is a long tassel and one is a short tassel. And if I pull the short one, the long one goes up. If I pull the short one, the long one goes up. Is that amazing or what? The queen said, no, you didn't fool me. That string just comes up here, goes over here, goes down here. Right, queen? That's why you pull this one. That one goes up, right, queen? cut his head off. Give me a... Whoa! You know what Ranjit said? He said, I fooled you. Because look, magic fingers, Ranjit. Thank you very much. There's nothing between those strings. And still, if I pull this one, that one goes up. Ha 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 ha. Give me a ha 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 ha. Brave and smart. Da 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 da. Beautiful and smart. Mean. Whoa. So the queen thought she'd been fooled once. She didn't want to be fooled twice. Then she said, wait a minute. That string just comes up here, goes down here, goes over here, goes over here, goes down here. Right, queen? That's why you pull this one. That one goes up. Right, queen? Cut his head off. Give me a... Oh, you like that too much. You know that? You know what Ranjit said? He said, I fooled you again. Because look, magic fingers, Ranjit. Thank you very much. There's nothing between them at all. And still, if I pull this one, that one's just got to go up. Ha 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 ha. Give me a ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Brave and smart. Da 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 da. Beautiful and smart. Mean. So the queen thought, and she thought, and she thought. She'd been fooled twice. She didn't want to be fooled the last time. And while she thought, the princess reached out and pulled that one. Uh-oh. Ranjit's in trouble now. The princess had broken his strings. He couldn't get either one of them to work. They were coming to cut his head off. You know what he did? He looked for somebody with very long, pretty hair like yours and borrowed just one. Thank you. He tied one end around that end, and he tied one end around that end, and he got ready to pull on it. He asked everybody for magic fingers, say the magic words, Abracadabra. He pulled on it and whoa! He got them both to work. He fooled the queen the third time, and Ranjit married Princess Taylor, and they both kissed a whole bunch every day. Give all my helpers a big yay! Take them out, guys. You did well, thank you. Can I have my suits back? We'll make those wedding plans in a little while, okay, Ranjit? A little sidebar about the magic story. I used to hear now and then from very politically correct parents who didn't approve of the part of the story where the king says, if you can't fool me all 3 times, I'm going to cut your head off. But now, I ask the audience. The king says, if you don't fool me all 3 of those times, what usually happens in a story like this, guys? And one of the kids always says, they get their head cut off. And I never had a problem with the grown-ups again. And the magic drawing board, which is a marketed prop from Axtel Expressions, takes a magical surprise, plays with it for a while, and just when you think it's over, the magic happens again in reverse. Now, with all those things in mind, choose effects for your acts. Remember what your usual performance situation is going to be. You'll have a bunch of short people sitting on the floor in a living room. You'll usually be performing in a home, but often the party will be in a park or the family's backyard, and those come in all sorts of shapes and sizes and conditions. So you'll often find that a complex setup on a magician's table is impossible. You won't have any privacy to set up, you may not have level ground to put a table on, and one or more of the children is just gonna walk around behind you to see what you're hiding back there. Think about what you can carry in a duffel bag or 2. Plus, when you plan to do multiple shows in a day, your effects should either require no reset or be easily reset when you put them away. The only thing I have to do when I finish my act is to put the rabbit in his place in the production box and make sure my supply of prizes is full. We're conditioned by really bad TV comedies to assume that the humor lies in the words. Half of your audience is not listening, the other half can't hear you. Physical comedy, backed up with a few funny words or encouraging words, is entertainment. Then there's the tendency to write until even a stone will get the idea. And that's just plain condescending, and the kids won't forgive that. I know you don't mean to be, but that's how it plays. The really successful children's entertainers Beekman and Bill Nye, Soupy Sales, Captain Kangaroo never talked down to kids. Even if an adult would chafe at Mr. Rogers' simple and quiet way of talking, his technique was not talking down to kids, but talking slowly and calmly, and not just talking to them, but making the listener an actual part of the conversation, keeping the conversation at least halfway on their side of the net. Do you sometimes feel that way? Do you? Well, what would you say if somebody made a rabbit appear right here? Can you say abracadabra? Sure, I knew you could. Be simple and direct. They'll follow you, but you do not have to dumb it down. If your act is not at least moderately entertaining to grown-ups, the kids won't like it either. Look at Bugs Bunny, Sherry Lewis, Rocky and Bullwinkle, humor with intelligence that has appeals to different ages. So when you do a gag, don't draw it out and overplay it to make sure everybody gets it. They will. They'll stay with you. Once you have an act that works, stay away from the magic shop for a while and polish what you have. You can go back later when you want to swap out what doesn't work as well as you think it should. A live animal is a big selling plus. After I ruled out elephants and tigers, I found the real star of my show, and here he is, my secret weapon who gives me a big edge in the business. This is George. Actually, he's George the Fourth. He's a Netherlands dwarf. That means he'll never get much bigger than this, and that's handy. That breed is also very even-tempered, so no matter how many little hands reach for him, he never bites or scratches. Isn't he the cutest thing? Children love him, grown-ups love him, and he's a big positive feature even when I don't do any magic at all, even when I just bring him along. He only costs about $30. He won't fly away or poop on your shoulder like a dove. You basically just give him a warm, dry place to live, clip his nails every couple of weeks, put rabbit food in one end and take it out when it comes out the other. And there are no vet bills because rabbits have no treatable illnesses. They just live about 5 or 6 years and then they die. He's a big selling point and he raises my perceived value immensely. Now to finish up, you'll remember the need I mentioned for variations. You need two kinds. You need to have an extra routine or two prepared to perform because sometimes you just need it. Some unforeseen problem arises or you're just surprised or running short. You can't do the magic story because 3 of them's all there are. I keep balloons as an extra. That's what's inside the giant fish. I can do a talent contest that takes 5 to 7 minutes and gets everybody on their feet again. When I've run out of everything else, I've even had little kids marching around the living room singing Hail to the Redskins, Substitute Your Team's song. And second, you also need a short presentation for little teeny kids. It's really for their parents, of course, but I have a 20 to 30 minute visit for 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. I do no magic at all. I bring the rabbit and do a few short comedy gags, make some balloons for the birthday child, also a special gift. I'll show you those later. And everybody gets to bet the bunny. And that's all. Maybe if they're all 4, I may do the magic drawing board. And I charge $50 to $75 for that visit, and I only book it if it's easy to get to, and I need to fill a hole in my schedule. Here are some of the actual magic effects I've had pretty good luck with over the years.